Hey, this is Notser, and today we're talking aircraft carriers. Wargaming at Wargaming Fest announced that the British aircraft carrier line will be the next line coming out, and it's going to coincide with the CV rework going live. This is happening early 2019, January, February, March, and this is big. This is a big patch. CV rework, British aircraft carrier, the AA completely redone. We're going to have commander skills that are completely redone, and they're going to have to be reset. There's just too many changes. And with all of those changes, that's the constraint. It has to be live. And that sucks, because as far as I'm concerned, the AA is not balanced. It was never balanced, because nobody ever had commander skills, nobody knew what the hell they were doing, and the ones that do were screwing around. The AA is just as important, maybe even more important, than the actual aircraft carrier. Because everyone has AA. Everyone has to have that counterplay offered to them. And if that counterplay is not offered to them, why the hell even play the game? That's what and why even do this CV rework if there's no incentive to maneuver your ship? It would just be what we're doing right now. That all or nothing. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. I just have big concerns, and there just wasn't adequate testing, but there never could be. And it sucks. We have to live with it. That's the gameplay that had to be changed extensively. Just the entire breadth of it. It's a lot. But hopefully it creates a more compelling game for all of us. Maybe it brings in new players. Maybe old players return, and it causes even more excitement for the game. That's what I'm hoping the CV rework can be. And, I know that's probably like, gumdrops and teddy bears and roses, but you gotta have some hope. And, if it isn't, we'll talk about why it isn't and what we can do to change it. And Wargaming, please be aggressive with balance. Weekly, daily patches. Get rid of any exploit to the gameplay, because players love to find it. That definitely includes me. Definitely not excluding myself. Screwed up the game quite a bit with the information I've shared with a lot of people. And, hey, whatever. These are things that need to be fixed. And whatever comes up, it needs to be fixed. Because Wargaming is going to try and sell this as sort of a rebirth of a game that maybe you were interested in, or maybe you could be interested in. It's going to be a big deal. So treat it like a big deal for balance, too, Wargaming. Because we're the ones who are actually playing the game. We're not someone who shows up and plays one battle. Now, there's players who love this game. Maybe players who would love to play the game even more. We need to get this right. And I just hope that it will be done right. That's all we can hope for. Because they're absolutely correct. The AA, the CV, the commanders, they all have to change at the exact same moment. Everyone's going to be a noob when it is concerning this stuff. It's just going to be really fascinating. A very interesting part of World of Warships history is about to happen. And I can't wait. I can't wait to be a part of that. Now, this does mean we're saying goodbye to the RTS gameplay, and that sucks for all the fans, but let's face it, there was a lot of issues with it, and I don't know that they had the ability to fix them all. It's just so different from the main game that you have to have a wholly dedicated gameplay design team for it, and it just can't get that. You can't put that much emphasis on the smallest population. Maybe if they had the population of the battleship, they could afford that and justify it in their expenses. But when you're making huge gameplay and dedicated gameplay for the smallest percentage, you just have to decide what's more important. Making everyone else's gameplay better, trying to grow it in another direction, which this is what they've chosen, or, just leave it the same, right? They chose to try something different. They were not happy with this, and I'm not happy with it. The commanders these sort of god tier commanders. I've played so many games, Natural Selection 2, Battlefield 2 Commander, you remember that? Battlefield doesn't have a commander anymore. Wonder why. I love the idea. I love the idea of a commander, but I also hate the idea of a commander because I've played with a commander. I love that a commander can see the battlefield, can share that knowledge with their team, but I hate that a commander can influence the battle just as much with that exact same knowledge. That's the disconnect that doesn't really exist in real life. Your commander doesn't have that kind of impact on the battle. They can't command adequately and be an awesome soldier or whatever. But in video games, they should be, right? That's the whole idea. You should have the same experience as everyone else gameplay-wise, and it fragments. They had to have a dedicated team for this, and they didn't have a population large enough for the dedication. It's a small percentage. What would you do? Would you dedicate resources towards 1% of your population or 56% of your population? Probably going to dedicate most of your resources to the population that's there. Unless, of course, you have money to sway why a population gets focus. But in this instance, they just didn't have enough aircraft carrier players. And that sucks. That really sucks. But can you blame them? The UI is squirrely. It bugs out. You know, half of the issues are UI and just simple things related, but other issues are completely balance related. Remember the fully decked out midways with tier 10 jet fighter squadrons that dropped 12 torpedoes and just 100-0'd any ship in the game. It sucks. It's always sucked to be this ship that just, it's like if the murderer, you know, Mike Myers or Freddy Krueger, they move at 100 times your speed. You can never get away. All you can hope to do is slow them down by getting a strike on them as they're killing you and stepping over your body. That's what it feels like. And we can't have that. We can't have that. It's just sad that we couldn't have had the gameplay that everyone dreams of, right? Everyone dreams of having this command of the battlefield. It's just not a good balance to give one person that kind of impact. And all these games have tried it, and they've all failed. Or they've been so niche that their population's so small that, you know, it's great that people like that, but a lot of people are driven away because of that. It's intimidating to both be in that control and also be, you know, under the influence of that person's control. I'm not going to miss that. I do miss that the aircraft carrier had a real cool view of the battle. I like that you had independent control of squadrons. You know, you could call them back, radio them back. I like that. I thought that was cool. But it just wasn't balanced. And I definitely value more balance in the game. I feel like this game has the potential. This game has so much potential to be that game where people respect it for its gameplay, competitively, and just for fun. It feels very fair, and I want that. Because there's not enough multiplayer games that feel like everything is much fairer. There's always a solution, and there's a lot of variety. I want that, and I love it here. This is by far the best vehicle game I think that exists. You know, World of Tanks, all those other tank games, they've got a lot of issues. War Thunder has a ton of grind issues, but gameplay-wise, this feels like it's closest to the ships, but also it's far enough away that it's still fun for those of us who aren't in the capital ship. You know, if it was like real life, the aircraft carrier would just be able to one-shot every single ship in the game all at the same time, probably, right? That would really suck, right? So I really appreciate this game. I want it to succeed. I want this carrier rework to really be a rebirth for that and everyone else's enthusiasm for the game. Because it's there. It's really there. There's great counterplay. The gameplay's cool. and I want it to be celebrated. Tell me what you think, though, of all this. Is this, whoa, CV Rework's going live soon? That's a big deal. It's worthy of being talked about. Share in your thoughts on this. The British aircraft carriers, it's great that they're getting a full line now, the full Navy. They deserve it. Who is the next Navy worthy of having an aircraft carrier branch, a destroyer branch, a cruiser branch, and a battleship branch? Tell me what you think. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.